mark. 15 seconds until airtime.
The following is a presentation of Learfield. Welcome to Duck Insider.
Our whole athletic department, there's a level of expectations of success.
Throw, catch, touchdown, Oregon.
He can run and slam.
This is back out for a three. Left wing is good.
In the air to center, back at the wall. It's out of here.
Really excited that we get to rep our Ducks and hopefully come back to Eugene with some championships.
Indoor track and field national champion.
Oregon repeats as the Pac-12 champion.
And for the fourth time in the last 6 years, the Ducks are Pac-12 champions.
We have so many teams that are excelling right now, and it's really fun to be a part of.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
Buckle in for a ton of interviews today. We've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different interviews for you over the course of the show today. We're going to do our best to get to all of them. This is a day that me, as the host of Duck Insider, just absolutely loves. Shout out to Jack, Brandon, Scott, everybody for getting all the interviews in. We just wrapped up at practice. If you can tell, I was at practice because I'm sweaty, and my hat will tell you that I was really sweaty. I mean, you can just, like, it's got multicolored green. Like, you know how we have, like, the new apple green? Like, that's the Oregon green? Well, I've added forest green, the old school forest green to the hat color, too. Yeah. Ugh. That's going in the washer. Yeah, that's the beauty of Nike hats. You can actually put them in the washer, and they survive. It was a warm one at practice today. There is some smoke in the area. The Ducks have been monitoring that really, really by the minute to see what the air quality is, and let's just all be hoping around here and around Lane County and beyond with some fires burning. Everybody stay safe, and let's hope for the best. Maybe some rain in the forecast would be nice. I know Don Essig would tell me it never rains at Autzen Stadium, but Don, I could use some right about now, I think, around here. Clear out some of the smoke. The Ducks, though, did work out outside today, and, well, we talked with a lot of guys after practice. The first day in full pads. Quickly before we get to the interviews, but I love it. It's a rejoice day. I want to finish that thought for me because I always say the point of Duck Insider is not to hear from me. It's to hear from the student athletes and the coaches. Well, this is a day where I just get to get out of the way, and we get to press play, and you get to hear a bunch of what's going on at Oregon football practice. Today, though, in other news, the Pac-12 did announce a not really change, but more of a back to normal in terms of the forfeiture policy for the 21-22 season. Following statement was released this morning, Pac-12 saying, quote, following consultation with the Pac-12 Athletic Directors Committee, the Pac-12 has determined that its prior long-standing game forfeiture rules set forth in the 21-22 Pac-12 administrative policies that was temporarily modified for this past season due to COVID-19 shall once again be applied for this coming athletic season. In accordance with that rule, if an institution is unable to play a contest through its own fault, it shall forfeit such contest to its opponent. What that means is that if there is, for example, a COVID-19 outbreak on a team that prevents a squad from playing, the game will not be a no contest. It will be a forfeit for that team. Coming out of the pandemic, going back to the way that the rule used to be. Now, today we're going to talk with a number of defensive assistant coaches, also Oregon wide receivers. Let's begin there. Dante Thornton, getting to know a young guy on this team. He came in with Troy Franklin. He begins here talking about his friendship with Troy Franklin. These two guys have been buddies since before they even got to Oregon, and it all started actually at an Oregon recruiting event. Dont'e Thornton talked with the media as we zero in on the wide receivers.
So in 2019, I first met Troy. We came to the SNL camp here, and then from there, that's when our friendship grew.
You guys have probably been together a lot this spring and this offseason.
we're roommates. Yeah.
You guys have gotten pretty close.
Yeah, one of our best friends up here. Yeah.
Is it exciting thinking about just the two of you working together? Because right now you're both getting reps with the first, second teams. Like, what is that? Is that exciting?
Yeah, it's real exciting knowing that the same person that you come in with at the beginning, y'all both had the same vision, and it's working out for both of you at the same time.
What about Damon?
That's my best friend. Yeah, we both from Baltimore, And so coming out here, like he committed before me. So when I saw that he committed, it made me speed my commitment date up. So yeah, he's one of the main reasons why I committed earlier.
We hear your name, we hear Troy's name, we hear Damon's name a lot too. Have you gone up against him much in camp?
Oh yeah, he plays safety, so not so much, but yeah, it's times that we go up against each other.
And we hear a lot about Coach BMAC from a variety of recruits, current players, whatever you have it. What makes BMAC such a great coach in your eyes?
Coach BMAC wants you to do everything perfect no matter what. So it could be a bad ball, he still wants you to catch it, and he don't want no excuses for what happened. So if you drop it, he wants you to catch it. So like, basically he wants everything to be done how it's supposed to be done no matter what.
And then how have you grown since arriving in Eugene as an early enrollee?
I feel like I've grown a lot, because like from coming in early and instead of coming in the fall, in like the summer area, I feel like me coming early, it helped me prepare for this time now, for fall camp and stuff like that, because I already had a few months in the playbook, so which made it easier for when fall camp came. I really just had to focus on actually just playing instead of having to worry about what play I had to do here and there. Just going out there and playing.
Were there any players in the wide receiver room that kind of helped speed along that process of learning the playbook and like letting it sink?
I would say all of them really helped me a lot, but if I had to pick like a top person, it'd probably be Devin Williams or Johnny Johnson.
What was it about them that helped you, or how did they help you?
So like before I got here, I had a great relationship with them. So the moment I got here, it was easy for me to connect with them. So whenever I needed help with a play, I easily just asked them. They'd tell me what I had to do. So and then I followed behind their footsteps. So everything they did on the field, I did whatever they did.
Are you playing the X or the Y, or does it matter for you?
To me personally, it really doesn't matter to me. But right now I'm playing field 1 and field 2.
There's a lot of super seniors, and not only are they super seniors, but they're shorter guys. Do you think you're a different body type? You know, can get you on the field this year?
Oh yeah, I definitely feel like that, because if you see over the years, like Oregon, they have a lot of big receivers, and then starting with like Juwan Johnson, who was there a few years ago, and then Devin Williams. With receivers like me and Troy, it's really bringing a big help to the offense, because you got big receivers who have speed and can stretch the field. So that's what really going to help the run game more, and then the pass game.
And a big part of the transition to the college level, obviously mental, but physical as well. Getting your body right. Take us inside the weight room with Coach Feld. What's the atmosphere like right now in fall camp?
Oh, it's crazy. They push you as hard as you can go, but they want what's best for you. They're not going to like push you until you hurt something, but they want you to try as hard as you can, but don't let your pride get in front of you trying to push. Oh, somebody next to you did more weight, so you try to do that. Do what you can do and just do the best at it.
Do you have any sessions in the weight room or in the off season where it was like, welcome to college football, this is what a college strength program looks like?
It's fourth quarter program, conditioning. The hardest thing I ever done in my life. So I'll probably say that would be my welcome to college conditioning, or like strength conditioning thing.
Have you had that kind of moment on the field, like welcome to college football, when you're
first day of fall camp?
Well, what was it about it that made it that?
It was like from going from the off season and having like just conditioning, and then coming back to football. Like, so basically, I feel like it's a difference between like off season in shape and then football in shape. So running with a helmet and shoulder pads on like that is way more harder than it would be when you had nothing on. So like basically like getting back in the flow of things with wearing equipment and stuff like that.
Do you have any expectations for yourself in your pursuit?
Just be the best player I can be.
Troy was saying Oregon might be known more as a running school offensively, but you guys are hoping to make it.
Oh yeah, totally.
A passing school.
Yeah, most definitely. The receiver class we have now, with the receivers that's already here, with my class, then the class coming behind us, we're trying to make a big name for the receiver group at Oregon.
When I talked to Damon during the recruiting process, I asked him about you, and he said you're a 6'5" guy that can run.
Yeah.
Just kind of break your game down for us and kind of what you bring to the table.
I feel like I'm a receiver that can play inside or outside, but a good thing that I have is like how Damon said, my size and speed, whereas though it could be a mismatch problem if I'm in a slot going against a linebacker, and then if I have a smaller corner, it's still another mismatch problem.
You can see why he was such a highly touted recruit on. That's Dante Thornton, a freshman wide receiver who's already made waves in camp. The Ducks really like what they have in him, and Troy Franklin alike. You heard him discussing a little bit about how they were buddies. And before our camera came over to talk with Troy Franklin, he did talk a little bit about how, Oregon's kind of known as that running school, and that's what Coach Cristobal wants to be able to establish to run the ball. But the Ducks certainly want to be able to make some big plays with their receivers as well. Troy Franklin, he continued a little bit of that conversation, talked about what fall camp's been like for him so far as these two young wide receivers get acclimated playing for the Ducks.
Senior, like you said, he's been through a lot of games and everything already, so he knows how to feel, and he knows what to do. So I think he's playing at a good level right now.
What's been the biggest learning curve for you so far?
For me, I would say the biggest learning curve was probably just for me, probably just a little bit of the playbook, and just remembering like different terms and things like that. But once I got that down, you know, everything was pretty good for me.
How good are the upperclassmen just kind of in the room as far as helping you as a bunch of younger guys kind of like let that permeate a little bit and get that right?
You know, they're really good with that. You know, they always help make sure we're straight, make sure we're knowing things out there and stuff. So, yeah, they do their job.
Is there anybody in particular in that room that you think is like kind of that teacher-mentor role maybe more than others?
Yeah, for sure. There's multiple guys. We got Johnny Johnson, Mycah Williams, Devin Williams, Chach, Josh Delgado, Tevin. You know, we got a lot of guys that help. So, yeah.
Cristobal said that enrolling early really helped you guys develop, and he said you guys looked like veterans. Do you feel like that? Do you feel like it was a big benefit for you?
Yeah, definitely. You know, when I got up here, that's the reason why I left my senior year early. You know, I kind of just wanted to get the ropes in, or, you know, get the work in, you know, so I could, you know, just be used to everything, you know, get my feet wet and acclimated here. So, yeah, it made everything easier. I already know, like, everything, so.
As you enter the season, do you have expectations set for yourself, or are you kind of just going with the flow?
I'm kind of just going with the flow, you know. I'm down. I'm the kind of guy to, you know, just do whatever I have to do to get my team in the best position, so.
That's Troy Franklin talking with the media. And I think, you know, he was talking a little bit about Johnny Johnson there earlier, just about how he's kind of helping that young wide receiver group. Johnny, of course, electing to come back for this year. And one of his roles is going to be to help guys like Dante Thornton and Troy Franklin take the torch and, well, hopefully make that flame burn a little bit brighter in that Oregon wide receiver room. The Ducks have a lot of talent. That might be the deepest that room's been in a long time for wide receivers coach Brian McClendon. He's going to meet with the media tomorrow. We'll revisit the wide receivers in just a bit. When we come back, another young guy that everybody wants to hear from, Justin Flo. And I can tell you, when he hits people at practice, they know it. We'll hear from Justin Flo a little bit from the linebacking unit next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
Ugh, what are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
What are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. It's been a long time since we've had an adventure in the forest.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
You're right. I should get out.
Yeah, the forest is not that far away.
Hey, Mom!
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
America, your children have an amazing superpower. That's right. They can help save lives by simply washing their hands. Just 20 seconds of thorough hand washing after they've coughed or sneezed or been outside can help fight against the dastardly spread of germs. Armed with only soap and water and hands, your superhero can protect you, your family, and everyone out there in America land. Amazing! Find out more at coronavirus.gov. A message from the CDC and the Ad Council.
Well, we have some bad news to report. There has been a Flat Joey sighting in Matt Ulmer's office, apparently. So Coach Ulmer, friend of the show, was in with us, of course, yesterday, Oregon volleyball head coach. He saw that I finally had found my cardboard cutout that was in stands around Oregon last year, and well, what do you know? He took it, and he said, well, we're going to hang this up in the office, and anybody that walks by is just going to see you on Villard Street and go, what the heck's going on? Apparently it's happened. Apparently it's happened, according to Katie. So Scott's clapping. I'm not going to clap. I'm not going to clap. No, we don't need that. We're going to hear from a couple Oregon defensive assistant coaches in a bit, but first, how about Justin Flo? Look, this guy is just, he oozes veteran presence already, and he's only been on campus for a couple years, not even at this point. Shortened season last year due to an injury. This year, he's raring to go, and it sure looks like he's going to be a contributor for Oregon's defense. Justin Flo meeting with the media.
He's a guy who's got quite the reputation of developing linebackers. Have you kind of seen that out of him just in the way that he talks to you guys as a room and the way he breaks down schemes and concepts?
Yeah, he's a really smart guy when it comes to the plays and everything and his scheme. So, yeah, I look at him and I just follow his lead, and he's bringing us to a good place.
What's it like when, I know you guys all refer to each other as brothers, but when you literally have a brother here who's playing in your position room, what's that dynamic like right now with you guys?
Man, when I tell you it's unreal, it felt like a real dream just seeing my brother just playing on the same team me in college and everything. So, and playing inside backer. So it's just, I thank God, and then I dreamed about this. We both did, so it's happening. We're gonna make do with it.
What's your scouting report of Jonathan's play so far?
Man, John, I know John, and he always brings it and everything. So he doing his part on that. Now he's got to focus on the plays and just knowing his assignments and everything everything's gonna come together for my brother. That's how I feel.
Are you guys more similar or more different as players?
I think we're really similar.
Okay.
You know, he always played outside inside backer, and he's doing his job. So it's pretty good.
Similar or different off the field?
Oh, we're similar. That's my best friend, my brother. So yeah.
What are the origins of Baby Man?
Baby Man. So when I was younger, I was a younger cat. I was a younger guy, and I always played with the older kids. So I was a baby, and I played like a man because I always played with the older kids, and I always was big, big like the older kids. So Baby Man.
So what age are we talking? Like
6 years old when I was playing with the 8 and 9 year olds.
And it just stuck for 15 years now?
It's stuck forever. Just kept it going. Baby Man, that's my name.
What do you think collectively is the biggest strength from the inside linebacker room?
I feel like our ability to learn and just learn from Wilson, and he gives the knowledge that we need to be better linebackers, and we just take off with that.
With Isaac gone now, there's not a lot of veteran guys. I know Drew's an older guy and Nate's an older guy, but who's kind of leading that group?
I feel like now we all are. We're all trying to lead the group together, you know? It's all one big backer group, so we're all trying to lead it and just do our assignments right and bring it every time we go out there, bring the intensity.
Is it maybe a little bit easier this season to just kind of get schemes and concepts down? I know last year with the pandemic and like the way the meetings had to be oriented, is it easier now that things are kind of maybe a little more normal in a setting that seems more normal?
I feel like it's 100% easier because now we're getting more time to meet up with our coaches and everything and learn the playbooks and stuff. So it's much easier for me and for the backers. So yeah.
No, the inside spots are similar, Justin, but who else is at the wheel with you?
We got my brother. We got Drew Mathis. He's playing Mike and Will. So just me and my brother, and then we got Nehu Kalani playing Mike and Will. So it's some backers playing both, some backers just playing one. So yeah.
Justin, when you made the jump to the next level coming from high school, what do you feel like were some of the areas where it maybe took you a little bit longer to adjust?
I knew coming into college was going to be way different and everything, but mostly just the meetings and everything, just way more meetings and just way more meeting up. And the intensity, I already knew how the intensity was going to be, so I already bring that. But just everything college. Everything was kind of different. I like it.
Justin Flo, one of the better recruits that Oregon has ever brought in, and excited to see what he can do out there on the field for the Ducks this year. Continuing talking about linebackers, today Ken Wilson met with the media, and he, commented at first it was a nice warm day out there on the practice fields. Ken Wilson, of course, the guy that Justin Flo was talking about at the beginning of that conversation with the media about how much he's learned and how much he's taken from a guy like Ken Wilson who's developed a lot of linebackers over his career. He's a heck of a coach. The co-defensive coordinator for the Ducks, and has now been the linebackers coach a few years, and, well, there's been some pretty good linebackers coming through Oregon under his tenure. Ken Wilson talking to the media today.
Coach, I think one of the big storylines in fall camp is the young linebackers that you guys have. What have you seen from Noah and how he's kind of helped bring those guys up?
I don't think of Noah as a young guy anymore. He's played a lot of football. He's one of the veterans now.
of that group. And he's the Mike linebacker. He makes all the calls. He can't have a bad play. He can't have a bad practice. That's the expectation, and he knows that.
First day of pads, that's always fun. It's always interesting to see how your team responds. How you feel like your group responded to that?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, we're grinding out there. We're trying to push them through this time and get a lot of guys to get out there and teach them how to get back in those pads and strike people and practice correctly and do their assignments. And there's a lot of fast-moving parts right now, and we're getting ready for a scrimmage on Saturday. So that's our focus.
What do you want to get out of that scrimmage? What are you looking for out of your guys and out of this defense?
I don't want assignment errors. I want to play really hard. I want to see how many guys have learned the defense, how far we've got to go, see if we can put in a little bit more and if we can progress or if we need to stay where we're at and keep learning. But most of all, I want to see effort. We want to see guys playing hard.
Between what you saw at the end of spring, Ken, from Justin in the spring game, and then so far this first week here of camp, what gives you the belief that he'll be ready for potentially getting that starting role?
Yeah, I think those guys are all competing for that job, and they're good teammates, but they all want to win. And I think Justin, you can see Justin Flo loves football. Noah Sewell loves football. Keith Brown loves football. Drew Mathis loves football. Justin, all of my guys. The thing I like about this group of players, they love to play football. They love to compete. And Justin's one of those guys. I mean, you put the football down, he wants to play. He just has to learn the defense and be consistent.
How do you feel about your depth underneath those starters, or the guys that are running with the ones at least, like your 2s, 3s, younger guys? How you feeling about them?
I think we got 6 guys right now that can play, maybe 7. We got a long way. We haven't even tackled yet this fall. So, I feel good about their mentality, but we got a long way to go before we start putting guys in slots.
What have you liked about Keith so far?
Keith Brown is mature for his age. He's a big guy. He learns fast. He's a smart kid. He's got to learn to play hard all the time. He's got to learn the defense. But, he's well ahead of a lot of high school guys just on size and strength.
And John, so far this first week, what have you seen from him and your...
John he's a little, he needs to gain some weight, but he's really instinctual. He moves from point A to point B very fast. So, I think he's got a bright future.
Do you look for him and Keith to get a lot of opportunity on Saturday just because of the experience?
Yeah, they'll be in the mix. We're going to play a lot of guys on Saturday. We want to see football on Saturday.
I think that's going to be interesting to see that just how deep the Ducks go for their first scrimmage of fall camp on Saturday. That's always kind of what I look for. Is it's not just necessarily the 1s, 2s, 3s down the list like you see in a traditional practice, like we see when the Ducks go 11 on 11 and they kind of do like the hockey line shift, right? Like that's what they're doing at practice a lot of the time. Well, when it's a scrimmage situation, you're going to see guys rotating through. Guys will come in and fill in a wide receiver spot who's normally with the 2s, but he'll be running with the 1s just based on what the Ducks are doing offensively. That's just an example. I think similarly that's what Ken Wilson's going to be doing with his linebacker crew a little bit, rotating guys through. John, who you keep hearing about, that's Jonathan Flo, Justin Flo's younger brother, who of course is now playing for the Ducks as well. You might have 2 Flos on the field at the same time. Might have 2 J Flos on the field at the same time. Going to be one of those situations where we'll have the J.O. Flo on the back of the jersey sort of a thing. That's what the Ducks are moving towards. Going back to the other side of the ball for a moment. Trey Benson, a guy who's dealt with some injury. He went through a significant injury that kept him off the field and in some ways kind of hampered his progression, at least physically, but I think you'll hear what he's talking about in a second. Mentally, he's ready to play for this team. He starts out giving a little bit of an update on where he's at, but Trey Benson, a running back, look, I think that C.J. Verdell and Travis Dye pretty much had to carry the load in the spring, as we talked about a few months ago. That room, because of health and availability, it was thin. A little bit deeper in that room now. Trey Benson, why? Running back Trey Benson talking with the media.
And how close to fully back are you today?
I say I'm like 95%.
That's a quick recovery for that injury, no?
I should be back before September 4th, or at least September 4th, so around that time. So I'll be good.
What were you able to do off-season, spring, early summer in terms of individual workouts, weightlifting?
Yeah.
What were you able to do?
I got my upper body. I'm way stronger upper body now. I'm probably one of the strongest. Me and CJ probably close to get upper body wise. So, and then mentally, I got better mentally as well too.
What was the biggest thing mentally that you had to work on and work through?
Just staying positive. That's the biggest thing. I used to be negative all the time, but now positive is the key.
Negative, like, I don't want to say feeling sorry for yourself.
Yeah, I lost like 25 pounds on the injury. So I was like 211 at first, and then I ended up being 190. But I gained that weight back as I got positive.
Was there a conversation with a coach or someone in the room that helped kind of get you to that place where you started to kind of get better mentally?
Really, my mom.
Yeah.
My mom and Coach Davis. That's about it. That's all.
So what's it like now being in camp and back out there and being full go again?
I feel like I'm more comfortable now than last year. Last year I was more timid. I wanted to be perfect, but now I'm just going with the flow. I got Travis and CJ in front of me. They teaching me too.
How much different is it just kind of learning an offense? Last year it's like you're in different rooms, COVID's kind of wonky, and the installs with a brand new coach. Now you actually have an off season. Are you picking it up maybe in a different way than you were?
I'm picking it up way better than last year.
Yeah.
Because we got 2 new running backs, right? So he more on them, so I'm still learning as well too. So he really just teaching all 3 of us right now.
What do you think is the biggest difference between trying to pick up an install last year compared to this one?
This year we don't have to wear masks, so I can really understand more. And it's just that, to be honest, it's really no difference.
What is that competition like with you and Byron at 7?
It's no competition, to be honest. I mean, it's friendly competition, but we all just learning and working together and helping each other. They even helping me out. So,
what do you feel you bring to the table that's different among the 3 of you guys?
I'm more of the stronger back, 7 more elusive, and Byron more like me. So me and Byron more like the same.
What's an area of your game, it's usually pass protection, but you tell me, that you feel like you need to improve the most, the biggest stride, whether it's, again, ball security, pass protection, you name it?
Pass protection for sure. High school, I didn't have to block that much, but when I got here, it was a whole different ball game. So that's probably the hardest thing I have to do.
Is that what you're looking to show in the scrimmage on Saturday? Yeah.
Well, I might not be scrimmaging. I'm not scrimmaging Saturday.
Oh, you're not? Still
probably next Saturday I might be scrimmaging.
Gotcha.
What's it been like working with CJ and Travis, and how have they helped you?
They real fun dudes, real funny. They help me throughout every day. I just praise to them.
Yeah, so I think you and CJ are kind of similar built backs.
Yeah.
Does he kind of take you under your wing
Yeah,
more than
CJ,
Travis does?
both of them, they both blew out about the same. It's about the same.
You learn anything from CJ and how he runs and just the manner of
He just told me to, run hard. Just continue to run hard. That's all he say.
You CJ and Byron, you guys hang out a lot together as well?
Yeah, we do. Like, as we eat lunch and stuff, we always go hang out with each other. I mean, every chance we get, we always together. And just talking and, building a bond. That's about it.
I really loved hearing from Trey Benson there, a guy who dealt with injury, and how about that? He was giving credit to his mom for keeping him positive. And Coach Davis, that sometimes that's what this is all about, right? You get a guy that faces adversity, he comes out of it the other side a little bit stronger, and in his upper body, he's actually physically stronger. That's what you heard him talking about there. But that room is getting deeper and deeper with guys like Trey Benson. Quick timeout when we come back. Joe Salavea, Oregon defensive line coach, and we take a look in the trenches at the defensive line. Hear from a couple of those guys, including Keon Ware-Hudson, when we come back. It's Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, welcome to the Spicy Drive-In. May I take your order?
Can I get the spicy chicken sandwich, please?
The spicy chicken is an excellent choice, sir. And to drink?
Whatever's fine.
Oh, may I make a beverage pairing recommendation this evening?
Sure.
If we are feeling especially bold tonight, sir, I would recommend the Mountain Dew with that. It's bravely unrestrained with a very alive aroma that pairs wonderfully with your spicy chicken. It's followed by a hint of zesty citrus flavor.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
I'm sure you already know this, sir, but remember to appreciate the nose first by giving the Mountain Dew a little swirl to relieve volatilize it.
What?
To change the flavor compounds and activate your taste buds to get them fully primed for that chicken sandwich.
It's delicious.
Now you're getting the hang of it. The muscular flavor charge characteristics of Mountain Dew make for an absolutely epic mouthfeel when paired with spicy cuisine. It is quite on point, sir.
Dude, it's a perfect match. Like they were made for each other.
So true, so true.
When you want to make good food bolder and bold food better, do the Dew.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Watch out! You got me!
The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots.
And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too. Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
We're back on Nugget Cider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack inside the Country Financial Studio. Oregon wrapping up its first full padded practice this morning, and the Ducks gearing up for their scrimmage on Saturday. It will be a fast Friday tomorrow. Makes sense. It's Friday, even though the days don't matter when it comes to fall camp and a football schedule. It's all about if it's a full practice day, a fast Friday, or a mental sweat day, a game day, or an off day, or a lift day. Sometimes there's a lift day in there, too. Going to hear from Joe Salavea, the associate head coach for the Ducks, a co-defensive coordinator, D-line coach. He wears a lot of hats for Oregon. It's brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Fight like a duck with cancer care you can count on. Joe Salavea, he's always a fun interview, isn't he?
Full pads today. I know that's like a holiday for you.
Man, it was like, yeah, it was Christmas in August. A lot of juice, a lot of energy, a lot of great effort. So, really we just stick to the facts, fundamentals, technique, and our finish. So, but so far, we're still in the early stage of this camp, but the competition and the urgency is there, so we just got to continue to grow.
Do you think the guys look forward to getting into full pads as much as some of the coaches do?
The way we're structured, the way our program is structured, it's not for everybody. So coming to Oregon, you embody that, and it's our job as coaches to reinforce the etiquette and how we approach everything, because how we do anything is how we do everything, and that's not going to change. And so that's a part of the game that we're really trying to manifest in all this and continue to replicate.
Is there one area you think you've seen the most growth collectively from your group?
I think our focus in terms of detail, really encouraging. This game is all about fundamentals. Easier said than done. So you really need your players and the guys to lock in on those every fine details, because those things have a funny way of showing up in a bigger scheme of things. So really encouraged by that, and we got to continue to pour it on and just making sure that we stack reps. We stack reps after reps. Those things are going to help refine our skill and our play.
And a lot of guys, one guy we're hearing about a lot is Jason Jones, and he's kind of coming up looking to take some reps off of a Popo when he needs a breather maybe. What have you seen from Jason in his development?
Our whole thing is everybody want to throw everybody in there to freaking battle and put it on film. To his credit, he's done a tremendous job of focusing on his nutrition and his training. He's shaping his body and refining his body every day. So those things are going to have a big implication of how much more he's going to be able to grow and whatnot, and he needs to. And that's what's everybody else. Competition breeds elevation of the quality of play, and that's exactly what we got going here now.
What are some things that would make Saturday's scrimmage a success for your group?
That line of scrimmage.
Okay.
Right? Put the dent on that damn line of scrimmage. That's the biggest thing. We got to man and control that line of scrimmage. We do that, we'll give ourselves a chance. But that's our goal every time. And I think no fluffs, no nothing. And we're looking forward to that.
You've got a lot of guys back who've played quite a bit, but nobody's been a full-time starter. What's it kind of like balancing some of that? But it is a deep group.
I think the biggest thing right now, guys, is have a sense of urgency to contribute. And they're in here taking good notes, and everybody's got a note and pen. Nobody's sitting around. So the encouraging about as a group, everybody's helping each other, they're challenging each other, they're elevating each other. Also, again, when your number is called, you have to produce. It's a production league, production game, but it starts with the preparation in the classroom, in the meetings, and everything else off the field.
Usually you bring in 3-4 interior guys. Keanu, I think, is the only one this year. Does he get extra attention because he's the only new guy?
Well, I think those things, he's getting the quality reps. That's the biggest thing, guys. We got to make sure that we're maximizing every rep for all of guys so that they're able to transition and make that for themselves. And again, you can't rob the guys from those. And if you have those reps to spread around, a kid like Keanu is going to benefit greatly. And so right now, we're just doing just that. We're everybody's getting a lot of good reps, and we're going against a really darn good offensive unit, offensive line, and Coach Alex Coach Criswell, they've done a hell of a job. So it's giving our guys quality look, and that's the biggest thing. We're getting to compete and being elevated by our guys on the offensive line. So
obviously it's pretty smoky today. Did you guys as coaches take any precautions, or did you see any negative effects from the players?
I want to let the pros, the professionals, let us know when it's good or not so good. I think the guys acknowledged and kept going. So I think that's the biggest thing as a team. You got to acknowledge, go to the facts, and go to the next. It's the same thing with the game. If our guys continue to process it in that demeanor, okay, to understand what the situation is and attack at full throttle, you know, those things will be there. So, but, you know, I think we're always looking out for the safety of the guys in the group. So we're not going to do anything. We're not going to subject our guys and ourselves in a situation that's not healthy. And so, fortunately for us, we were able to still be within means of the safety code to be able to get our work done in today.
How many guys are you confident in relying upon if a game was played in a couple of days?
You know, still early, but it's going to be done by committee. So I'm looking forward to seeing how these guys continue to put forward their claim to that. And so they'll contribute to their playing time as they continue to put it on film and earn the respect and the accountability presence among the group. So
You talk about guys having to maximize every rep. Is there anybody who does, that kind of sets the tone for that and does a really good job?
You know, right now, Keanu, I mean, there's so many guys. Keon Ware, obviously Pope was one of the older guys, Dorless, but we, as a group, you know, Jason Jones, it's been really, really great to see that, and they got to continue to do that. You know, there's nobody on the idle mode right now. Everybody's coming in there and trying to fight for every opportunity when it's given. So we just got to continue to monitor and grade them out as best we can, so we can know how that's going to shake up. But we're still early, and we'll continue to work.
Still early, though, with Joe Salavea's group and this entire defense and the entire offense, the entire team, for that matter. Still a very early edition of fall camp, but I think they're starting to see kind of where guys fit in. Brandon Dorless is a guy for me that I think is going to have a big season. We've heard a lot about Popo, and Keon Ware-Hudson is another guy who I think now is kind of settling into his role a little bit. I really like the talent level of Keon Ware-Hudson. Got a chance to talk with him a little bit after practice today. Keon Ware-Hudson is a guy that I think he's got all the physical tools. Now it's just a question of getting that experience to really go with the talent. Keon Ware-Hudson talked with us after practice. Keon, first day in pads. Just what was that like for you guys? Is that as big of a deal as maybe it's made out to be the first day in pads in practice?
Nah, yeah, it's definitely a great day to start pads, you know. It's been a minute, so, you know, it's a different type of feeling, you know, going into first day of pads and everything. Everything's more physical, faster. So, you know, it's always a great day, but always could be better.
You feel like you and some of those other guys on the D-line that came in together have kind of taken that veteran mantle now. Like, do you guys kind of feel that on your shoulders a little bit?
Yeah, they're definitely taking over, you know, with the veteran aspect, you know, being coachable, you know, taking over like what we don't see and everything. So they definitely grew up in that aspect.
What are you looking for in your first scrimmage on Saturday?
You know, just playing for my team, you know. Reading my keys, doing my assignment, whichever best help the defense out, you know.
With an adjusted fall camp and easing into full pads, how have you liked this I guess, you know, ease into practice where you're not hitting right away and acclimation period's a little bit longer?
This fall camp is definitely different from my freshman year. It's a lot easier on my body, you know. Having a day off, like tomorrow we have Fast Friday and everything, so a lot of relax on my body and able to go full speed once practice comes.
Where do you guys feel like you're at with Coach DeRuyter's defense and just getting comfortable with what he wants to do?
I think we're growing every day, you know, want to know process. I feel like there's some things that we could adjust to, you know, but the team looking a lot better every day.
Is anybody from the offensive line just really stood out to you that's been like a fun matchup for you during camp?
TJ, you know, he's a heavy guy. I mean, everyone I go to get me better throughout the camp, so, you know, I appreciate them and helping me want to push every day.
What does TJ do particularly well? What makes him a difficult matchup?
Just a heavy setter. He's a calm pass setter. You know, it's a hard guy to move and dish rag, so, yeah.
Did you guys feel any negative effects from the smoke today? Do you feel that slowed you down at all?
At first, when we first came out, you know, it was a little smoky. Eyes was burning and everything, but throughout practice, it looks like it got worse. So it didn't really affect me, you know, but probably some other players, you know.
Yes. questions about that as Keon Ware-Hudson was talking about it. I mean, I think it's a valid question, right? I mean, I was thinking about it. You know, it's good to have the mask around for indoors as well, because, you know, outdoors when it's smoky like this, it's no fun. There is, though, I should say, so that everybody knows, you know, last few years we've really kind of had to think about this more and more. There is an NCAA and a Pac-12 and a University of Oregon. There's a guideline from everybody about what's the safe level of where you can play, and essentially it has to do with that air quality index, the AQI scale that I think we've all become around Oregon all too familiar with it sliding up into that from green to yellow to, what does it go to after that? Is it orange, purple, red? I don't know. The scale that you see, you know, on your phone app, or if you look on the scale itself, I think it's if you're over 200 for an extended period of time, that's where it's just like you really don't want to be practicing in that kind of an environment. The Ducks have handled that before. In fact, in years past, they've had to go out to the coast in order to be able to practice. So the Ducks have dealt with that before. That was Keon Ware-Hudson, though, talking about a lot of different things. And one thing that I did want to mention, he was asked by Matt Preem from 24/7 Sports about, like, hey, how's this kind of ramp up, you know, different in fall camp? It is different this year. We talked about it in a Quack Minute. Rob talked about it on one of his practice reports that we mentioned on the show before, but if you missed it, it's a little bit of a different adjustment period now, and it's kind of a slower build-up in camp toward full pads. There have been some new guidelines and some new policies in place from the NCAA here for this season. When we come back, Keanu Williams, back here from Mycah Pittman a little bit, Rod Chance. A lot of interviews to choose from on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear Exit Strategy, no matter which Toyota you choose, there's an exit from the ordinary to match. See you soon, Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer or toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear Exit Strategy, no matter which Toyota you choose, there's an exit from the ordinary to match. See you soon, Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer or toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Okay, forest animals, kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow, have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. River, how's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man.
I love it. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. Okay. Squirrel.
The forest has been preparing just for you. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Back in the Country Financial Studio, it's Duck Insider presented by On Point Community Credit Union. The Ducks in full pads today, and they're practicing again tomorrow in a Fast Friday format. And then Saturday is scheduled for the first scrimmage for the Ducks under the lights at Autzen Stadium. Keanu Williams is one of the new guys on the block, the only new guy on the defensive line. And you heard Joe Salavea talking about him a little bit, and we got to know him for a couple of minutes after practice today. Keanu Williams.
How do you judge the first 5 days, 6 days of practice right now?
Grind, man. It's just a lot different from what I came from. You know, coming from high school to college, you know, I knew stuff wasn't going to be sweet, so it's going to be work. It's challenging, but, you know, I'm getting acclimated and ready to go, ready to roll.
What's just feel like the biggest jump has been from high school to here?
Probably the physicality. I think the physicality is the biggest difference, and just how much of an emphasis they put on really striking and going through people in college rather than high school. I think that was the biggest change and difference I've seen so far.
Joey, Jay.
And what's the adjustment to the college weight program been like for you since you got here?
Man, since I came in January, I think that was the best thing for me. So, coming into fall camp, I was up to pace, up to date with a lot of these people. And spring, a little different, but now that I got a full 6-7 months in this weight room, it's been working really well for me.
I came over while you were talking about some of the adjustments from the high school to the college level. What kind of leaps are you hoping to take as far as maybe some specific aspects you're trying to hone in?
I'm hoping to get my technique right. I think it's the littlest things that make the biggest difference for me. So that's really what I'm trying to really lock in on and get right.
What was the physicality like out there today in the first day of pads?
Man, every day in the trenches is like pads and physicality, man. So it's not even any different than shells, spiders, man. We going at it every day. So it's no different than physical, hard, and just getting after it.
You're one of the younger guys. Who are some of the vets that you've maybe learned from since you got here?
Keon, Popo, Brandon, and then also too the GAs, Coach Winston and defense analyst Coach Brumball. When he came over, man, they all been helping me, and I just been getting better every day with them.
I think he's going to be a fun player to watch. Just saying all the right things. And, it's interesting. We talked so much about how the first day in full pads is kind of the ramp up, but your drills look a little different. But in the trenches, they're hitting even when they're in spiders. I mean, the spiders are those kind of like smaller shoulder pads. Then you get the shells. Then you have full pads all the way down. I think that it's going to be fun to see the way that this defensive line develops. A lot of young guys that have seen some veterans in front of them, like a Jordan Scott and Austin Falliu. I think that you're starting to see those guys really settle into some of those roles. Now, how about back into the secondary? Rod Chance got a chance to catch up with the Oregon, and that's going to be a phrase I'm going to use over and over again. Got a chance to catch up with Rod Chance, the Oregon quarterbacks coach, who I think has a really, really talented group. And look, there's some depth concerns there, right? Missing a couple guys in the secondary right now. Guys got to step up. Rod Chance talked about some of those guys after practice today.
Hey, just talk us through the first week or so and first day in full pads. What have you seen from your group?
Well, obviously, getting a young group out here, got a lot of bodies out there that's going to touch the field for the first time. It's been exciting. They're in a learning, growth mindset. We're just working to get 1% better each day. So it's been fun to get around and getting the guys around install, getting the young guys acclimated to how we work, how we operate in this system. But it's been fun. First day in pads, right? We're still installing, so there's going to be some bumps along the way as we learn and we grow through this. But I'm very excited with the effort, very excited with the number of bodies that are running around, flying around.
Rob, with a lot of moving pieces right now. Quez has been here longer. Dante obviously coming off the injury of a year ago. How do you look to handle the boundary spot at the moment? Is it Quez move or Kale moves over, or is it since Dante was there?
Right now, we're kind of working through some things right now. Putting guys left and right, fielding boundary, just because a lot of those dudes haven't played. Kind of want to get some data. To kind of see who's effective in the boundary rather than just throwing the body style out there without info. So, those guys have been working field and boundary, just keeping them home left and right a little bit until we can get a little bit more data once we get in full pass. So that's our understanding of it. That's how we're going to approach it.
How big is Saturday then for those guys in particular, the less experienced?
Yeah, it'd be huge just from how we operate. Getting the calls from the sideline, knowing it down the distance. The little things that young guys need to learn, young guys need to continue to develop at. So it's going to be key for them, just trying to get in that atmosphere in the stadium.
Not asking about what may have happened today, but for Jalen in particular, again, another guy obviously was here in the spring, but you get an opportunity to see him so far this first week. Just what have you seen from him?
Definitely. Was very grateful that he got an opportunity to early enroll. I think he's a little further along now than he was, when he should have been a high school senior still. So he actually came out the gate showing us a lot better things, like he understood a little bit more about what's going on. So I'm excited about him. We're going to still continue to push him and continue to see what he can do. But I think definitely early enrolling helped him out in terms of learning the system and operating at a high level. So we're going to continue to push and grow. All of them are going to have some good days. They're going to have some bad days, but it's my job and my responsibility to pick them back up and get them in a better response.
With some missing pieces right now for Jalen and Darren in particular, do you think they're going to get maybe even the lion's share on Saturday?
Well, I think, those guys going to get an opportunity to play. For sure. We got some questions that need to be answered at that position. So we got to cut it loose. So you can play football fast and physical, who can operate in and out of calls, right? And then we can go ahead and manipulate that, kind of go forward and see where we grow from it. So all of them will get a lot of reps, in terms of that. But we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that.
What do you want to see out of your group on Saturday? What's a successful scrimmage for you guys?
I think we want to keep the ball in front of us first and foremost, right? And we want to align. half the battle in football is getting the line, playing with great, knowing your assignment, and then playing with great effort. That's who we are as a program, in terms of our toughness, our commitment, and our discipline. So I'm really looking for us to be efficient in terms of how we get a line, how we operate in between the whistles, after the whistles, and our pre-snap movements. That's really what I'm looking for, to see how the operation and how we handle that with the hands off and the coaches off at the sideline, and, the coordinators are in the box. So it'll be a big day for the young guys.
Coach, what have you seen from Track Crest Bridges, and how do you think his length is going to help you guys in the secondary?
Obviously, man, it's hard to coach. 6'3", you can't coach it. For him, just having that length, it gives another tool. Everybody in the room looks a little different. You got guys that are 6'3", some guys are 6 foot, some guys are 5'11", can do a little different things. So anytime you have a guy with a big body, a 7'2" wingspan, able to get hands on guys, that's always an advantage for the defense, especially when you get in the red area. So for him, we're very proud of him, of the work that he's been doing. He's not a finished product just yet, but he's dedicated to the work. He's been doing a really good job.
Rutschance, I think that Track Crest Bridges is going to do a really good job at cornerback. He's long, and what I loved is we heard from him earlier this week that the coaches talked to him about how, hey, your length is going to play better at the next level. So if you want to play at the next level, you're probably going to want to learn to play some cornerback, and that's what he's done. Really adds to his repertoire as a player. I think it adds to his resume as a player, no doubt about it. When we come back, going to talk a little more secondary. Marcel Yates, Oregon's secondary coach. Going to hear from him to wrap up Duck Insider after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Okay, man, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. Cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Show the world that you're tougher than tough.
Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack inside the Country Financial Studio, and today's show is always brought to you by our friends at Hoodoo, long supporters of Oregon athletics. We're going to finish up today talking about the secondary. Marcel Yates, the new secondary coach for the Ducks. He's a lot of fun to talk with. Let's hear from Marcel Yates.
For Happel, do you look for him more at the star, or do you like him at deep safety? Or
Happel can play both. Happel can play both. So Happel is, he can play safety for us. He can play star. We've been doing both. We don't know where he's going to end up, but, he's smart. He makes plays, so he's a quarterback on the defense as well.
Who else is there besides those guys in Bassa? Who's next? Is it Barone technically because he did it before, or do you have a fourth and fifth guy?
No, when it comes to depth chart, right, we're kind of moving guys around, so there's nothing set right now. So we're going to, just kind of see where things fit, and we're going to see what guys can do at every spot. And then once I sit down with Coach, he'll let us know, what he thinks is best for as far as who the starters are, and who the twos are. But early in camp, you always want to see guys compete. You do have to set a depth chart sometimes, but with as many young guys as we have, you know, you want to see guys get in with certain groups, you know, and see guys communicate with the vets and see what they can do. So we're kind of doing that a little bit on the back end.
We probably overlooked Verone a little bit, but just hearing about how much of a ball hawk he's been here this first week, I'm sure as a safeties coach that gives a couple of smiles in the film room when you're starting safeties, you're picking the ball up a couple times. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that's the key, right? We want to get the football back to our offense. You know, we don't talk about turnovers, right? We talk about takeaways, right? We want to go and take the ball away, okay, from the offense. So we've been getting our hands on some balls, you know, had a couple drops here and there, you know, that you would like to see us actually catch those balls, right? But we're getting better each day.
Do you guys track like deflections in practice?
We track everything. Track.
What's a typical day for deflections that you'd like to see?
What's a typical day for? I don't have a certain set number, as many as possible, but I told him I don't want to lead the nation in pass breakups. I want to lead the nation in interceptions. You know, so if we can get our hands on it, hopefully catch it, right, and get off the field. You know, when you just pass break it up, right, you're still on the field. So we want to make sure, right, we can catch these balls and get off the field.
Do you see a scoop as favoring one side or the other field or boundary right now, or just
same thing? You know, just because you want to keep that competitive edge, you don't want to just give guys, okay, yeah, you're a boundary safety or a field safety, so we're going to move all those guys around, and then once we kind of get past, you know, where camp is as far as, you know, just teaching guys our base scheme, then we'll kind of put guys where they fit, you know, but we don't have like a certain home for scoop right now.
Who's kind of the field general in the secondary for the twos? If Verone is it for the ones, who's kind of running the show for the twos?
The twos is probably Addison. Addison's been playing for us. And, you know, he's been playing some free safety, so, you know, he's a field general, you know, as far as that right now, you know, but it could be, at the same time, it could be Jeff Bass at times, you know, so we kind of switch off with that.
To go back to Apple, what's the evolution of his leadership kind of been like, especially being probably one of the older, if not the oldest guy in that room right now?
He's an old man in the room, so, you know, and he's not old, obviously, but as far as age, you know, he's the oldest in there. He's played a lot of snaps, you know, coming from Boise now to the University of Oregon, you know, he's been in a whole lot of different schemes.
Good stuff from Marcel Yates. Didn't get the last 30 seconds, maybe one more question. It's going to be on the Go Ducks YouTube here shortly. Tomorrow, Jerry Allen, the voice of the Ducks, is going to join us. We're also going to talk with the Oregon offensive side of the ball, hear a little bit more from Mycah Pittman, and it's a scrimmage scheduled for the Ducks on Saturday. Full preview of that. Duck Insider presented by On Point Community Credit Union. We'll see you tomorrow.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway